And for the next 5 minutes or so, could you please re-explore some of the movements that you did with Jenny last thing yesterday that we were talking about in that corner? So hook the big toe, lean on your hands behind you, and just use the time to recall what you did. And hopefully you now have a few more parameters to savor with, yeah? Things to play with, things to go, is that true? Is what Zoran said and Jenny said true? Or are they just telling big porkies? So you just keep on exploring. If you find your leg trembling, you might want to back off a little bit. And should you find yourself rolling backwards because you're falling and rolling, that's fine. That's just a little mistake. You'll survive that one and you'll know to do something else next time. Hello. When you start to explore that part of the lesson where you've lifted your head and you're in that little curled up position, you know that rounded position of your body really affords rolling. So it doesn't take much force to roll yourself, but what it does take is a lot of body weight negotiation. Shift this part of your body a little bit over here, that part a little bit there, timing it a little bit. It doesn't take much force. So I think it was Archimedes that said, you know, give me a long enough lever and I'll move the world. Yeah. Weight and counterweight, balance and counterbalance, leverage. What? What does it? Shouldn't. If it's efficient, no. Someone asked me, when you do this movement, does it burn up a lot of calories? And, you know, and my response was, well, if it's efficient, no. Because that's one of the definitions of efficiency, yes? You're using the minimal amount of work to do the maximum effect. So, no, it's not a calorie burner, I'm afraid. You did that yesterday when you were circling your feet around yourself. That was more of a calorie burner. Okay, that's enough. Please stop, rest. And as you're resting, could you please reflect for a moment? Did you approach it differently just then based on our conversation? And if you did, well, you can remind yourself that that's how you can approach every lesson. Please come up to sitting again. Take hold of your right big toe with your right index finger, hook it, or index finger and middle finger, or index finger, middle finger and ring finger, depending on how long your toe is. Lean on the floor behind you with your hand. And lift your foot from the floor, put it down. And start to form the intention in your mind of bringing that right knee to the inside of your right arm. That's a good response. Interesting. It's good. Now, it's a brand new intention. Haven't done this one before. So how do you make that easy to do? Oh, look at that. That's nice. Yeah. No, that's good. So for some of you, you'll be able to slip that knee onto the inside of your arm while keeping your leg completely bent. Some of you are supple enough to do that. For others, you might try lengthening the leg a little bit, taking some of the bend out of it, and then slipping the elbows sneakily to the other side. Sorry, the knee to the other side. Yeah. So now you can flip the knee to the inside of your arm, to the outside of your arm, inside of your arm, outside of your arm. And your attention could be completely gobbled up by that, right? Gobble, gobble, gobble. That's where all my attention is. What's happening with your pelvis? Where does your weight shift on your pelvis when the knee goes inside and when the knee goes outside? Intentionally make a variation. Keep both sit bones on the ground and take your knee inside, outside. Notice where the locus of the motion then has to happen. Don't shift your weight. Don't shift your weight on your pelvis. Both sitting bones stay rock solid on the ground. Now move your leg inside, outside. And feel how this becomes a movement of the leg in the hip joint. Oh, you're not doing the intention. No, your right hip is lifting from the ground. I can see it. Yeah. If the pelvis doesn't move, then all of the motion has to happen in the hip joint. Let the pelvis move so that you don't experience just the hip joint moving. Was that a no, yeah? That was good. Matter of fact, when you go to take the knee to the inside of the arm, intentionally shift your weight onto the left buttock. And if you've got your arm just in the right place, that means you're not going to lose your balance, because then you'll be standing on your left buttock and your hand. Your weight is distributed still between in a large base of support. Now, do the same thing. Bring the knee to the inside, shift your weight onto the left buttock, but don't have your left hand on the ground. Notice how easy is it to shift your weight onto the left buttock. Notice what parts of you tense up. Does the right buttock lift as high? Okay, that's enough. Now put your left hand back on the ground and feel the difference. Feel how the left arm and the left hand becomes very useful in catching your weight. Just do a few more movements and notice, where is your eye gaze? Some of you are staring at your foot very intently, like you didn't know where it was. What is that? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Can you lean on your elbow? That'll be worse. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Come back up. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That'll do. Otherwise, I'd say to you, get yourself a chair and kind of lean on the chair a little bit. Put your elbow up on the chair. But if it's your shoulder, then that's difficult, right? So keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this becomes a tough lesson for you to do, because if you can't use the shoulder, then that's hard. Yeah. Rest a little bit, please. So go ahead, lift your foot. Yeah, that's good. Now, you see, this is because of your shoulder. This is not what you're allowing yourself to do. You're not allowing yourself to actually fold a little bit back this way. You have to actually bring your weight back a little bit. And that will help you to lift your leg. You see? Makes it easier there, doesn't it? All right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's make a variation and see what happens. Stay lying on your back, please. Bend both of your legs. Place your right foot on your left knee. Put your left hand behind your head. Yep, behind your head. And hook your big toe, please. Just stay in that configuration. Roll yourself a little bit more onto the left side and come back to the middle. A little bit to the left side, come back to the middle. Just that. And as you roll yourself to the left side, please track your changing contact with the floor. Oh, I didn't say. You can actually take your right foot away from your left knee. That's fine. You can have your left foot on the floor. There we go. Yeah. Now roll yourself the other way. Not to go onto your side, just to shift a little bit to the right of your spine and then come back. Okay, return to the middle. Now lift your leg and start to explore the same intention of taking the knee to the inside of the leg, the arm, and to the outside of the arm. Oh, that's nice. I like that idea. Good, good. That's exactly what you need to do. Now, if you find it difficult to support your head for this amount of time, you can take multiple towels, build up a beautiful support behind your head so that you're rounded and you're not having to do much work. But it will still leave you in a place of rolling, because if you insist on just staying on the same place on your back, everything will need to happen in your leg. Would it make a difference to you? So this is the tricky part. For those of us that find this movement easy, we go, oh, well, this is easy. There's nothing left to do. What's the difficulty? None. So then the only place you can go to is, what else could I do? Which is to actually spark off your curiosity. Is something else possible? So, yeah. Where are you going to go? Inside? Yeah. So look, yeah. Go outside. Go inside. Yeah, go on. You feel how that knee swings in? Look where you can go. Look there, 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 there. Yeah, yep, 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 yep. Yeah. You feel how you rock a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Is it easier? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Take off your sock. Hold your sock. You'll find it heaps easier. That's it. Off you go. Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. There you go. There you go. So notice just that little bit of extra distance. You could actually hold it even further down and make it even easier. That's it. Yeah. Rest, please. Come up to sitting again. Lean on the floor behind you with your hand, your left hand. Hook your right big toe. And bring your knee to the inside of your arm. And then start to take your right foot in a circle behind you. And then return. Yep. So bring your right knee to the inside of your arm and then take the heel, the foot, in a circle behind you. Mm-hmm. think of bringing your right heel closer and closer and closer to the back of your right buttock. And think of that as a journey, not a place to actually get to. So the original instruction still holds. Think of taking your foot in a circle around you behind. And find out where can you go to? Now, what are you doing with that left leg? Because that's going to make a big difference. So could you all sit with the left leg bent, resting on the outside edge of the left foot? Let that be your starting position. And off you go again. Yeah, and you know, if that foot goes far enough behind you, there's a moment that the left hand can leave the floor. Yep, so you take the knee to the inside of the arm. Yep, and then, yeah, there we go. The left leg can definitely move. It's how it moves that is the variable. There's a few different ways that that left leg can move. And at the moment, it's just unspecified. Now, could you do the opposite? Bring your knee to the outside of your elbow and take your right foot in a circle around to the left and behind you. Yeah. Some of you will go, why didn't he ask us to do this first? It's just much better. That's it. Yeah, that's good. Now, notice, Helen, when you go to that side, how all your weight shifts onto the left buttock. Yeah? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, there you are. Yep. And now, could you please alternate? When your elbow's on the inside, take your foot behind you. When your elbow's on the outside, take your foot around to the left. So there'll be a moment when the knee flips to the other side. So basically you're taking your foot around to the right and behind you, and then around to the left and behind you, and you flip the knee at an appropriate time. There we go. Yes. Yeah, that's okay. What is it? So there you are. You've got your hooked. Pick up your foot, take it around behind you to the right, and your knee will be on the inside of the arm. Yeah. And then change direction, change direction, change direction. Flip the knee to the outside of the arm and take the foot around to the left. There we go. Sorry? Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Beautiful. That's it. Good. Now, please stop. Sit facing the front of the room. Lean on your hand on the floor behind you, hook your big toe, and now just simply lift the foot up into the air and flip the knee inside, outside, and notice what that's like. Yeah, just like that. There's something changed, either in your understanding, in the ease, in the lightness, in your comfort? Is anything different? Good. Let that be. Pause for a while. Later on today, we'll have a look at the structure of the hip joint and how that structure of the hip joint relates to the leg and the pelvis and the spine. And it'll give you more insight, I think, into these lessons that you're doing now. So this will be our kind of another journey into the structure of some very important areas. Come up to sitting again. Now, let's change the hand and how the hand holds the foot. So could you take hold of your right foot so that the palm of the hand is over the top of the foot and you're holding the outside edge, the little toe side? Right hand over the top of the foot and you're holding the outside edge. That's it. And with the hand in this position, please lift and lower your foot and feel what's different when you hold your foot like that. Some of you might notice that you stiffen your foot and your ankle. In other words, the mobility that you had a moment ago is not there. So, sorry? No sound. Is that better? Okay. Is that all right? Comprende? Yeah? Okay. So what was I saying? Yeah, some of you might notice that you start to stiffen your ankle with this. Can you hold your foot in such a way that you feel that there's some motion in your ankle? And I don't mean just that part of the ankle that flaps this way, but all those little joints underneath the ankle that allow the foot to be in these different shapes. And now take your knee inside and outside your elbow. You can still be using your sock. Okay, put the foot down and now hold the foot from the other way around. So the palm of your hand to the sole of the foot and taking hold of the outside edge. And now with the hand in this position, lift and lower your right leg. And everything that you've done before, carry that experience with you. What can you do with the shape of your back? Where does your pelvis go? Where do you rest your weight? Are you using that left hand or not? No one said anything about taking the head to the floor, but if that's a conscious thing, that's fine. That's it. And notice that when your hand's under there like that, there's a really specific direction that the foot wants to go in. Can you feel? Yeah. Yeah. So each different handhold offers a new scenario and addresses different possibilities. And some of you, yes, that's good, that's good, that's good. Okay, put the foot down and do one final handhold. Could you hold all the toes of your foot with the fingers and thumb of your hand. That's it. And same thing. Lift and lower the foot. And then when you've got a hang of what that's like, take the knee inside, take the knee outside. That's it. Okay, please leave that. Pause for a little while. As I was watching you, I recalled, it sparked a little memory of going to an audition at the Australian Ballet School. And now this movement that you're doing with your leg is very common in the dance world. You know, you pick up the leg, you hoik it up, and you bounce your thigh against your ear. You know, as you do, yeah, just as you do. Boing, boing, boing. Yeah. Well, one of the audition maneuvers was, can you please sit on the floor, have your legs all the way out to the side, and then land on your tummy, and then take the legs behind you. Hi. No, because I couldn't do it. But every woman in that audition could do it. Every one of them. Legs, a straight line out to the sides, whack. And then they just tilt forward, put their tummy, their whole front surface, they move their whole trunk around their legs, and then the legs go behind them. It's like, whoa. Now, those women had really, really supple hip joints. You don't need that level of supple hip joints to do this lesson. You really don't. What you need to do is to distribute the movement over many, many, many joints. Because in ballet, they do want to see how much range of motion you have in those hip joints. That's what they're interested in. They're not interested in your cleverness or whatever it is. They want to see that you have above average mobility, super average. But that's not what we're interested in here. We're not interested in super average hip joints. We're just interested in hip joints that can do what they're designed to do in coordination with the rest of yourself. Please come up to sit. Lean on the floor behind you with both hands. And lean on the floor in front of you with both feet, with your knees towards the ceiling. So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places of support. 2 feet, 2 hands, and 2 buttocks. Move your feet and legs a little bit further apart. And now slowly start to tilt both of your legs to the left and return to the middle, and both of your legs to the right and return to the middle. And as you do this movement more and more, create a position of your legs where one knee can come to lie fully on the ground and the other thigh can come to lie fully on the ground, or that general direction. Yeah? So if the legs are too close, that's not going to happen. If the legs are too far, it's going to feel like a strain. So how far apart do the legs need to be for the knees and the thighs to land on the floor? That's nice. And there might be a moment for some of you where you'll feel the need to lift one of the hands off the ground. Do so as much as is necessary. And then return to leaning on the ground with your hands as soon as possible. And the timing, if you get the timing just right, when that weight goes onto one buttock, you no longer need the opposite arm. You really don't. But don't take the arm off too soon, or else you'll miss a very important component of this particular variation, which is the movement that happens in your trunk. So the legs start to tilt, the pelvis starts to shift weight onto the other buttock, and can you feel how the trunk starts to change shape? It twists a little bit, it shortens a bit on one side, lengthens on the other. It's a really beautiful, complex little movement that happens in there. If you lift your hand too soon, you miss out on that. Hmm? Yes, the hair in the tortoise. A tortoise is hairy? I know that. But a tortoise is hairy. That's all right. That's it. So there you are. Yes. So there's your knee and there's your thigh on the floor. And then you flip them. And you'll notice that the flipping movement that's happening in your right leg is very similar to the flipping movement you were doing a moment ago when you were holding the foot. Same kind of flipping, inside, outside. Would you say? Well, maybe for you, it never has to come off. But for some individuals, it does. Yeah, you see, you've got all that movement in you. And the eagle, yeah. Is that a particular family? Is there an, oh, okay. Yeah. So, you know, if you don't have to take your hands off, just leave them on. Yep. The movement through the whole middle of the trunk. Mm. Mm. Yeah, but you don't get that. Mm. You miss it. You feel you're missing out on something. Yeah. Now, slowly, slowly, slowly take your legs to the ground, slowly, and quickly come back to the middle. And then slowly, 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 slowly take your legs to the ground and quickly come back to the middle. So the accent is towards the middle. And it only has to be a contrast between the slowness of going down and coming back to the middle. It doesn't have to be the super fastest movement that you ever made in your life. It just has to be contrastive with the slow lowering down. That's all. And then quickly to the middle. That's it. So give it an accent. Just like when you're, you know, for those of you that know music, you know, You've got a 3/4 beat, and there's always an accent on the 1. So it's like 1, 2. It's rather than everything just being even, there's an accent. That's all. Okay, let that be. Rest, please. So what we will be doing more and more of as you switch from doing ATM for yourself to starting to do ATM to start understanding ATM is select lessons that we can work through the design of the lessons together. Because once you get the hang, once you get the feel for, the perspective on how you put the lessons together, you can pick up most lessons and start to understand what's going on. Please come up to sitting. But for the moment, just do the lessons for you. Hook the big toe with your right index finger. Lean on the floor behind you, not necessarily in that order. Lift the right foot from the floor. Take the knee inside and outside, just like you did before, and notice, is there something different having tilted the legs? Is there something about what your trunk is more prepared to do in order for the leg to change its position relative to your arm? Is there more suppleness in the trunk? Now, take the knee to the inside of the arm and move that right foot around you, behind you, as far as it will go, and return. Do that many times. And I'm going to offer you an intention now. Please explore its possibilities, but do not force yourself to go there. As you take that foot behind you, as the right foot goes behind you, can you bring that left knee to touch the floor on the inside of the knee, so that that left leg flips, just like you were doing a moment ago in sitting? You know how you were flipping the legs? Can that left leg flip over and rest on the inside of the knee? I'll say that again in a moment. You're taking that foot behind you, and there's a moment when that left knee goes towards the ceiling, flips, and then comes to land on the floor. Just like it did when you were tilting both legs. Yeah, so I'm only talking about taking the right leg around to the right. Yeah, that also goes to the right, yes. Yeah. You do what you did before, which is you flip the knee to the inside and you take the foot behind. Yep. And if you need to remind yourself, so this is always good practice. Please remember this. If you need to remind yourself, what did it feel like for the leg to flip inside? You just come back to that position, put your hands behind and go, oh, that's it. I'll say it again. That's okay. So you've got hold of your right big toe. You flip the leg to the inside of the arm. You take the foot behind you. As the foot's going behind you, you flip that left leg over until it rests on the floor. Yeah, there we go. But that foot's not behind you, though. Yeah, you're asking for specifics. I'm not going to tell you for specifics. So you want me to instruct you? Is that what you want? I'm not going to instruct you. You instruct yourself. I have. Yeah, I have. I've given you enough. I've given you enough. I said to you, if you're not sure, go back to having your hands behind you, your legs bent, tilt the legs and notice how one knee, that left knee, can come to the floor. It can. So you know it can, but can it while you're taking that right leg behind you? Yeah, I remember I said the knee's on the inside of the arm. It's really hard. Sorry. What I really want to share with you is, like, I'd like to tell you everything that I know. I'd love to tell you, but that won't help your learning. It will help you to learn a trick, but it won't help you in that learning process, because if ATM is about a learning process, how do you navigate from the unknown into the known? If that's what this is about, then me saying now do this and do that and do this and this and this and that and that, it's no longer that process. It's something else. The only constraint is you stay hooked with that toe and the knee is on the inside of the arm. Yes, I've said that many times. The foot has to go behind you. There it is. There it is. Thank you, Philippa. It's all right. You don't have to get it. No one's telling you no one's telling you that your graduation depends on getting this movement. Yes. Sorry? Yeah. I know that. But I offered that as an example of what the left leg could be doing, because a lot of people, as soon as you start to mention a new pattern, everything goes, oh, it's like a cocktail. Yeah, that's it. That's where you're heading. But, our minds kind of clamp down. There we go. That's it. Yeah, so when you bring that leg in front of you, can that leg, there we go. That's it. Yeah. That's nice. That's it. Rest a little bit, please. Rest a little bit. You know, for many years, my partner, Joanne, has tried to talk me into doing Sudoku. And I go, I don't want to do Sudoku. It doesn't stir my juices. But it is a puzzle, right? Someone's offering you a puzzle. And there's a set of rules. You know what the game is. And you play. And some people absolutely love it. They love it. I don't. I hate it. I hate it because I don't want to do that puzzle. For me, doing that puzzle absolutely has no salience whatsoever. Nothing. I'd rather go drink a cup of coffee. But these puzzles that you're doing in here, I could do these until the cows come home. These puzzles I like. Joanne, on the other hand, hates these puzzles. Can we just get to the end of it, please? Just tell me the end. How am I supposed to do this? It's like, no, you're missing the point. So you see, that little step from the unknown into the known is exactly the same step that's required when you're playing that Sudoku puzzle, or however you pronounce it. Because you don't know what the solution is, you just know a bunch of rules and you know how numbers work. Same thing here. You've got a few instructions, you've got a fairly good idea how your body works, and then you go and you play the puzzle. And the reason I hate Sudoku is because the frustration arises in me, and then the resentment arises because I feel like I'm wasting my time, because I don't like doing it. It doesn't make any sense to me. But when I'm doing OTM, I never feel like I'm wasting my time. So it really is what you like, where your values are, what interests you. Please come up to sit again. Lean on the floor behind you with your left hand. Hook your right big toe. Now, here are the puzzle clues. So the clue is the very first thing that you did after you did your self-practice, remember taking the foot, taking the knee to the inside, and then taking the foot all the way around you? That's the same thing. Nothing different there. The thing that you're adding is the further that foot comes behind you, think of taking that leg and flipping it to the inside. That's the only thing you're adding. And for some of you, when you get to a certain part, you no longer need that left hand. That left hand can come off the ground. So there are your three numbers. Go and fill in the Sudoku puzzle. And it doesn't matter if you can't do it. It's okay. Yeah, there it is. There it is. There it is. Now you see, all you need to put is your foot in a slightly different place and Bob's your uncle. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, go carefully because you don't want to wrench your knee. You really don't. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. So try different timings, because if you leave it too late, that can be really difficult. So as that foot starts to go behind you, can you see if you can organize this leg to follow? Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, yeah. That's it. That's enough. Come back. Come back. Yeah. That's, you see how that got you. Yeah. Just experiment a bit more. That's it. There we go. There we go. You're even closer now. Think about the position of your left foot. Where did your left foot start? There we go. You're even getting closer. Left heel closer to the buttock. That's it, that's it. And it just goes behind you, behind you, behind you, behind you, and there you are. And if you thought of taking the foot even further around a little bit, maybe you'll create more space for that left leg. There it goes. Beautiful. That's it. Yeah. You should rest frequently. Absolutely. Okay. Matter of fact, why don't you all just lie on the back and rest? Yeah. It's just the shape of their hip bones. There was a wonderful, about 2 months ago, there was a great posting on Facebook, and it was all about the hip joint and dissected hip joints. And what it was showing was the great variety of differences in anatomical structure. It was really good. I grabbed it and posted it on my timeline. So there are some people, some of them might be in this room, that your hip joints are structured such that you will never be able to do this movement, ever, ever. It's just true. I'm giving you an excuse here. Come on. But that's the reality of it. And some of you will have hip joints that are structured in such a way that all these little clues that I'm giving, shift the weight, do this, do that, you go, what's that about? I just put my leg there. You don't have to do any of it. So you see, between those two ends of the continuum, yeah, remember the story about the ballerinas? Those ballerinas that could just their legs behind like they did, they just pick up their toe and go, yeah, poop, what am I learning? Because if the question is about the movement, then what are they learning? They're learning nothing because they can do the movement. There's nothing to learn. But if the question is about how do you direct yourself in learning, what can you detect? If you can't do something, if you want to make it better, then that's a different ballgame. Please come up to sit for the very last time for now. Lean on the left hand behind you, hook your big toe, and just take the knee inside, outside. See how that's going. And maybe for some of you, you won't have to shift your weight so much left and right on the buttocks. Maybe you found some extra facility in the hip joint. Yeah. Good. Please leave that. Come up to standing. Feel what it's like to stand. Walk, please. Walk a little bit. And my recommendation, you okay? My recommendation to you is if you find this asymmetry particularly unpleasant, take about 5 minutes of your time, lie on the floor, and could just simulate in your mind doing it on the other side. And then after you've simulated it a little bit, do a few movements and you'll find the asymmetry disappears pretty quickly. Okay? So have a good solid break of 15 minutes because I think you really deserve it. And we'll come back then.